NFL free agency is just around the corner. So today I'm going to be giving you guys a list of the best NFL free agents at every position for 2021. But before I get started, make sure to hit the like if you enjoy the video to help my hard work pay off. Alright, let's get started on wide receiver. Wide receiver, Kenny Golladay. And I know Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson are both free agents, but Chris Godwin will probably end up back with the Buccaneers, and Kenny Golladay seems to have much more potential than Allen Robinson. I believe Kenny Golladay will take around 15 to 17 million a year and will probably sign a 4 or 5 year deal with a team in need of a number one wide receiver, possibly the Indianapolis Colts. Tight end, Hunter Henry. After being franchise tagged by the Chargers in 2020, I think Hunter Henry will be looking for a much more long-term contract with the Chargers or any other team that's willing to give him a long-term contract. And although he's not George Kittle or Travis Kelce, Hunter Henry is still a top 10 tight end and will probably be paid around 10 or 12 million a year and could fill the number one spot at tight end on multiple teams. Both the Bills and Cardinals make plenty of sense to me. Running back, Chris Carson. I know Aaron Jones is also a free agent, but I really believe Chris Carson is a much better runner of the football, and he had similar yards to Aaron Jones with a much worse offensive line, and he's only 26. I would look for Carson to sign a 4-year deal to be the number one back with around 8 to 12 million a year. Look for the Seahawks, 49ers, and Dolphins to be in the running for Carson in free agency. Offensive tackle, Trent Williams. After spending all of 2019 holding out for the Washington football team, Trent Williams was then traded to the San Francisco 49ers and had another all-pro caliber season, and has a very high value on this upcoming market, and will probably sign a 1 or 2 year deal worth about 15 million a year. I expect the 49ers, Chargers, and Jaguars to be all over Williams in free agency. Guard, Joe Thuney. After allowing only 3 sacks in the last 3 seasons on the New England Patriots, he is a prime target and will probably get a 5 or 6 year deal worth roughly 12 to 14 million a year, and will probably sign with the Cincinnati Bengals. With Joe Burrow, the first overall pick, coming off a season-ending knee injury, the Bengals desperately need help up front and need to protect Joe Burrow after having one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And Joe Thuney would perfectly patch up that offensive line. Center, Corey Linsley. This has got to be hands down the best offensive free agent of 2021. A 2020 first-team All-Pro and anchoring the league's best offensive line, Corey Linsley is going to take quite a chunk of money to get onto a team. I would expect a more long-term contract worth about 10 to 12 million a year. I expect the Seahawks to be a top landing spot for Linsley, needing help on the offensive line, especially in the center, with them facing Aaron Donald twice a year. Quarterback, Dak Prescott. Even though Dak is asking way more than he's worth, he's still a franchise quarterback and a good signal caller that 20 teams would consider an upgrade over their quarterback. But 2 teams seem to be primed to sign Dak, and they are the Broncos and Panthers, both quarterbackless, and should be able to make room for Dak in the cap space. He's probably going to sign a 4-year, $160 million contract. Now that we're finished with the offense, if you are indeed enjoying, make sure to turn the like button blue. Cornerback, Shaquille Griffin. Being a one-time Pro Bowl cornerback, Shaquille Griffin should be very popular in free agency, and because of the lack of turnovers, will probably not be very expensive, but is still a decent shutdown corner and would work well as the number 1 corner or number 2 corner on any team. And with him not even being 25, I can see him signing a huge long-term contract worth probably 12 million a year. Jets, Seahawks, and Falcons should be all over this race for this brand new corner. Safety, Justin Simmons. This is a really hard choice between Honey Badger and Simmons, but I decided to go with the younger safety. As well as being super consistent, Justin Simmons is also super young and seems to be getting better and better every year, and should become one of the NFL's highest paid safeties at around 15 to 18 million a year, probably a 5-year contract. Both the Broncos and Browns should be ready to take a shot for Simmons. Linebacker, Lavonte David. One of the league's premier coverage linebackers, having 14 more passes defended than any other linebacker in the NFL in the last 2 years. And even though he's about to be 32, he will probably get a $60 million deal for around 3 or 4 years to captain a young defense. I would expect the Bucks, Browns, and Titans all to be in the market for Lavonte David. Defensive end, Shaq Barrett. This was not an easy choice between J.J. Watt and Shaquille Barrett, but again, I had to go with the younger player. And Shaq will probably be the most expensive player signed this offseason. He'll probably get a contract worth close to $25 million a year on a 4 or 5 year contract that will break the bank of a team. The Jets, Titans, and Jaguars should all have cap space to sign him. Defensive tackle, Shelby Harris. Although he's 30 years old, he's still a great run stuffer and has a ton of batted balls in the recent years, and should be pretty cheap compared to some of the other players on this list, and will probably sign a 2 or 3 year contract worth 15 to 20 million, around 6 to maybe 10 million a year. It will probably go to the Falcons or Cowboys to help out in run support. Let me know what other 2021 free agents you want your team to sign. I personally would love the Seahawks to sign J.J. Watt or Corey Linsley. But make sure to hit the like if you enjoyed watching, subscribe for weekly NFL content, and I will catch you guys in the next upload. Until next time.